Welcome to the Artie's Attic Warehouse 13 Fancast, where a steampunk girl, a lifelong sci-fi fan, and a rocket scientist chat about the popular 2009 sci-fi series. There's never a dull moment with the agents dedicated to protect humankind from unexplained phenomena that manifest their powers in special objects. And there's all those friendships and relationships along the way. Grab a cookie while you can. Hope you don't smell fudge. Gear up with your Farnsworth, Tesla, and Neutralizer, and let's have some fun by snagging it, bagging it, and tagging it.
Welcome back to Artie's Attic. We're a Warehouse 13 Fancast. I'm the Warehouse 13 janitor, once again on the hunt for Artie to figure out how artifacts are disappearing from the warehouse. Again, my name is SP.
Man, that's security. I thought they put up more stuff for that.
Again, Claudia is slacking. And introducing Artie's Attic lead agent and historian who spent a week in New Orleans enjoying the live music and learning how dead people are connected to people still alive. It's Agent Shannon.
What's up, guys? I want to go to New Orleans. I want to go.
Dead people.
Pretty sure there's a tour for that down there.
No thanks.
And also joining us is the warehouse agent who now has an intense focus and a powerful drive to achieve anything she wants before being driven down the path of violence and insanity. It's Agent Carolyn.
And then I have pulsing veins and go into a stroke and die.
Yeah, I don't recommend that part.
Yeah, no. I think I'll give you back the marbles before that.
I don't recommend the stroke and dying part. I've been there. No.
Wait, yeah. You're like, yeah, not recommended.
Hard pass. Hard pass.
Hard pass.
Good to know.
10 out of 10, don't recommend.
Don't recommend it, yeah.
All right. We are continuing our Warehouse 13 series discussion with the episode that premiered on Monday, August 13th, 2012. 9 years before the world record 427-step Rube Goldberg machine was created by the Chinese trio of Chevrolet Menlo, Wang Jink, and Wan Jian from China.
Easy for you to say.
What was created?
A Rube Goldberg machine. You know, when you put a marble down and then it makes different things happen, and then another thing happens, and another thing happens, and then it's a mechanical thing. I'll send you a YouTube video
like dominoes?
Later. Kinda.
Yeah. Do you remember
like
the
Mousetrap? Mousetrap.
Yes, I was going to say, do you remember the game Mousetrap?
Yes.
That's
okay.
Rube Goldberg.
Okay, I'm with it. I had to show our age there for a second.
He sent me the YouTube. It's like 4 minutes long. It was that long of a,
just kept going,
thing.
huh?
Oh my gosh. It was cool. I love things that people that get those things to work. It was really nifty.
Mousetrap.
It was a Guinness World Record.
I was going to say, remember the game? Mousetrap?
427 steps. And it was a long time. I'm surprised that the whole thing ran. And just imagine if you're the cameraman and you forget to hit record.
Don't.
There was a cameraman's assistant saying, okay, you ready? You gotta hit the green button.
It's like the dominoes thing, right? You forget to hit record and you're like, oh, now we got to do it again.
Yeah. And how long does it take to set up?
Months in some cases. All right. I'm referring to the Warehouse 13 Season 4, third episode, Personal Effects. The TVGuide.com description reads, Hugo resurfaces to help track down an artifact at his nephew's prep school. Meanwhile, another artifact threatens the life of a musician in New Orleans. Carolyn, what did you think of the episode?
Actually, there was a lot going on in this episode. So you got a lot of story in this episode. We got more of Artie's story and his use of the astrolabe. I want to know what that artifact was that he waved over the spur to make it melt. Did you catch that? Do you know what that artifact was? Because
it happens so quick.
It's a robot matchbox. It heats objects to a degree where they will melt.
Robot matchbox. Any name, history or anything with it? Just says robot matchbox.
Yeah, that's all I got.
It was kind of cool. And In listening to Brent Spiner's character, he does really remind me of his character lore and other characters that he's played, the way he had
evil
his mannerisms and things. And he was definitely trying to trip up Artie so that he could figure out about Artie. We learn that Jinxies has figured out his connection to Claudia, and now Micah knows. And that Claudia thinks she owns Jinx because she saved him. So she kind of owns him. I thought it was a really fun episode. There was a lot of good stories, a lot of nifty things. It was fun to see Hugo again and his off-the-wall way of trying to help his nephew with marbles.
I think he lost his marbles because he didn't end up helping anybody.
No.
It just ended up being a big debacle like it always is with him.
Well, I mean, he's Hugo, so
I don't particularly care for the episodes with him in it.
He's scatterbrained, and what did he say? He's scatterbrained and annoying. Yes, I think that's what Artie said.
I will agree with you this time, Shannon. I have rated this. Now, we've done a total of 42 episodes, and I will rate this at 24 of 42.
Yeah. Well, I would, again, so I like the story that you find with, I like the Jinx and Micah went up together.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of this, like anything at the school, it was all for the team again. It was the whole thing. Just different characters instead of now it's Pete and Claudia going out, and they got to find the object from the team, right? It was kind of a repeated thing. I like that you're getting more with Brother Adrian, and he kind of creeps me out because you do get the lore, and Brent Spiner does so well at playing the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
We know a lot of things about a lot of things. I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah.
So he's been spying on you. He already has access to the warehouse. He's leaving those little black diamonds everywhere. Again,
is he or is it Lena?
Good question. I can't remember. Not to say I don't remember, but again, security is severely lacking at the warehouse because once again, people are coming in and replacing your systems, and you're not even knowing. And eventually, I would think that he's going to have to tell Mrs. Frederick, something's happened. I can't let you know, but I need help.
I mean, he did say, the brother did say that you came into my house, you stole from me, and you dismantled my life's work. I will respond in kind, and the Brotherhood does not play by any rules.
Yeah.
So Artie's in for it. He's like, I can take on whatever. I've got the regions behind me. I've got powerful people. And he's like, yeah, but we don't play by rules. And I'm like,
sounds like that Brother Adrian needs just to be bronzed, but
but bronze that man.
So
Problem
I mean,
there's a lot more of them.
A lot more. But I mean, what else has he taken from the warehouse? I mean, he's the one who sent obviously the marbles to Hugo.
Yep.
I mean, but for what purpose? To get all the agents out of the house, I guess.
Maybe so that Brother Adrian could have a one-on-one discussion with Artie while everybody's gone, maybe. But that brings up the point is, where is Lena? Mrs. Frederick has noticed some things that are odd about Artie, so where is she? And you all bring up the fact that security is lacking. Where exactly is an internal affairs within the Warehouse 13, either regions or agents? Somebody should be investigating stuff to make sure that people are not becoming the new bad agent.
Well, I think I think the internal security died at the end of season 3 when he fell into the pit when they were at
McPherson?
No, the other guy, the guy that played on Firefly.
I'm having a brain fart right here.
I don't know. That's my job. The guy that went to Egypt with them.
Oh yeah,
and fell into the fire to save them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was there
Badger.
as the
Badger. That's what I'm calling Badger.
He was the
the regent. Yes,
he was the one that kept that was always in people's business, and I think he would have been the one that would have found all the security leaks. What the hell's his name?
And Micah does bring up a good point when she's talking to Steve about when did you find out you had this connection to Claudia? Because she finds out about the connection. And he like says, last week. He says, well, what does Claudia think about it? He says, well, nothing, because I'm not going to tell her because I got to stop it. I'm not going to let her give her life for me. And she's like, okay, I've already lost too many people. And she names off the people she's lost. And then she says, and who knows where HG is? And I'm like, wait a minute. Didn't she come back? Where did HG go?
We're
missing HG.
No, yeah, she came back.
She came back and
season.
Artie like fought for her to be an agent, but she never came back. So where'd she go? But she's like, there has to be another way. Don't just go turning off the metronome.
Yeah, she's like, I found your body, so no.
Yeah, I found your body. We're not doing that again.
Also, I think at the same time that this was airing, wasn't there was a series that came on and it had the ghost, the vampire, and something.
Being Human.
Being Human, that's also where the guy that was playing the instrument is from.
That is correct. I
was wondering where I knew his face from.
I have it written down.
I know my sci-fi.
Yeah, there you go. The individual is Sam Huntington. He played Ethan Ellis. He has 55 acting credits, and the most notable was 52 episodes of Being Human. Of note, I believe there was a BBC version of Being Human. This is the American Sci-Fi Channel version of Being Human.
I think he played the ghost. I think.
The ghost was the woman.
Oh. Well, he didn't do the vampire.
No,
the wolf.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in forever.
I don't think I watched any of it, but I remember just like, back when at the heyday of Warehouse 13, you also had other cool shows like Eureka and Being Human, all these things that you remember seeing commercials for. And I remember seeing commercials for it. I never watched it, but I remember seeing it.
Trying to remember if I did watch it. I don't remember.
I watched a few episodes, and I think I don't know. I might have watched it all, but it's not memorable to me. It wasn't something I was incredibly interested in. It's not the sort of thing that I'm not into the horror thing, and I will put like vampires and werewolves into the horror category.
Oh,
well,
so
it's like I said earlier. It took me hours to recognize where I saw Hugo's nephew, and he's from where I remember seeing him on Wynonna Earp. So
as we were discussing before the show, 6 episodes of Wynonna Earp. He also has a rather large career that I would not have known because he was in shows meant for teens. He does have 31 total acting credits. He has 65 episodes of a series called The Latest Buzz, 85 episodes of a series called Degrassi, The Next Generation, which he was filming while he did this episode of Warehouse 13, 12 episodes of a series called Open Heart, 12 episodes of a series called Between, and then 100 episodes of a series called Hudson and Rex, which I have no idea.
Never heard of any of those.
And I bet you
Wynonna Earp. I've heard of Wynonna Earp.
You haven't heard of Degrassi?
I've heard of Degrassi. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never watched it.
I know that he was at a couple of the Wynonna Earp cons. So I think he went to San Diego with them. That's probably but the biggest amount of money he got.
Freaking Hugo. Well, I gave it to him because I wanted him to do well on his paper, and then his nephew was like, well, I didn't want to be selfish, so I shared. She shared it with a bunch of his
shared his marbles.
Shared his marbles.
Kind of like the Lost Boys.
By the way, I wish I could have made a reference to it, but I think it's Hook, where with the Robin Williams, I can't find my marbles.
Share his marbles.
Yep. Can't find it. I thought of that too.
When I reference something in the intro, I reference something that's happened after the episode because, like, I want to say Warehouse 13 is first, so I couldn't say that. Hook was probably early 90s, maybe late 80s.
I think so. Yeah.
Robin
Such
Williams.
a good movie, though.
Yeah.
Such a good movie.
Great
movie.
Another noted actor would be Brett Geddes, I believe is how you pronounce his last name, Geddes. He has 12 acting credits since 2009. The most notable for many of the people listening to this is probably 3 episodes of a series called The Boys, and he was the termite on there. I have not seen it because I was told very early on that if you don't like dark stuff, you probably won't like it. And at the time when this premiered in 2022, during the middle of the pandemic, I was like, hell no, I don't want anything dark. I want light stuff. So I've not seen it, but it has gotten a lot of accolades and is well known in the genre community. So I want to just point it out that he was in there in 2022, of course, 10 years after he did the termite. Or
No, on Warehouse 13.
He was
Justin Kelly?
Declan. He's just one of the boys, Declan.
Oh, one of the boys. Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, not to be confused by...
He's one of the boys, and he plays in The Boys.
Yeah, right. There you go.
But
I need to watch more TV because you already name off shows all the time. I'm like,
it's on Amazon. I have not seen it either. It's not really something that I will in my genre of things that I would want to see.
How it's been described to me is it's if superheroes were in the real world, how it would be treated. Like they're corporate sponsored. They're not always good. Matter of fact, most of them are not good, even though they appear good. And they have really strange powers. Like there's a guy that has, I don't know if it's big or not, but a magic part of his anatomy that is used during adult intimate activities. Try to keep it friendly a little bit here. Anyway,
that's on a TV show?
Yeah, called The Boys.
Well, it's on Amazon.
Yeah.
It's on Amazon. And I mean, I think I watched a little bit of one episode.
Is the superhero name called The Bulge or what?
I actually don't know.
But I think the one piece that I saw, it actually had like one of the guys that runs super fast that couldn't control his powers, like literally ran through a person and splatted her all over the place. And I was like, oh, okay, no, I don't.
That's the sort of thing that happens all the time. It's like, what was that Will Smith movie? He played a
superhero.
Was it Hitch?
Yeah, no, Hitch was a different movie.
Okay.
That was actually a good movie.
But it was the superhero movie.
But it was a superhero movie.
It's very similar. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I don't need darkness in my world. It's got acolytes and everybody loves it, but it's fine. It doesn't have to be for everybody. No. If you love it, great. Go watch it again. It's not my favorite.
Talking about good actors, though, Brent Spiner, of course, Brother Adrian. I noticed something in here, especially after watching Picard. He doesn't have a lot of range. And maybe that's just because of the limited things that I've seen him in, but I don't really see him expanding beyond. He's got incredible talent. Don't get me wrong. A lot of good talent.
But it's his voice that he sticks with and his mannerisms that you're either Data or you're Lore. That's it.
Yep, pretty much. And all the bad guys are like Lore, so to speak. So the Brother Adrian has a lot of the things that we see in Lore. And
the mannerisms were the same. That's why it made me think of Lore when I saw it. I was like, ooh, yeah.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go and watch Picard on the Paramount app, I guess, streaming app.
Or TNG.
But I think this is more applicable to Picard because it's more condensed and he does play a variety of characters.
That's true.
That's true.
Instead of
his range is amazing. It's just that sometimes
I don't think his range is amazing. I think it's very limited.
Well, I mean, like the amount of characters he plays, they've got him playing like lots of different characters, but he plays them all the same. I guess it's the same thing.
It's like John Wayne. John Wayne, I mean, there's a lot of things that you could say for or against the actor. He was very prolific, and he always seemed to play the same character in every single thing.
Prolific.
It could be a cowboy in one. It could be a ranch herder in another. It could be a Marine in another. It could be somebody in Ireland for The Quiet Man. That's a popular movie that he did. It's all the same.
It's all the same character. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Same mannerisms, different character names.
Right.
basically.
So, I mean, you can say that of a lot of actors, so I'm not saying it's necessarily bad, but that's really what I was noticing here. And maybe it was more pronounced at this point in time because I was seeing him in Picard, because Shannon and I did season 3 of Picard last year, I believe. And that has stuck in my mind on
I was trying
Brent's.
to remember how long that was.
I only remember.
Was it last year? Was it a year? 2?
It was
I
last
only
year.
remember because I didn't have hair then.
Right. It was at the beginning of 2023.
I had
It
no
was.
hair.
Okay.
And yeah, Hugo's definitely got the secret agenda with the Marvels. He was absolutely pining for something. And it would be interesting if he would just be open and honest at any point in time. And he's not been open and honest at any point in time with the entire run that we've had here, which is why Artie, Hugo's behavior grates on Artie, probably from that. It's like,
Irritated.
You're well-meaning, but you're going about it the completely
He always has
wrong
a hidden
way.
agenda.
Irritating and scattered. Yes.
There's always a hidden agenda with him.
There's
He
always
doesn't
a
tell you
hidden
the whole
agenda.
truth all the time.
Yeah.
So there was a scene where one of the boys was getting angry in the school in the lab, and he picked up a microscope and he was going to hit somebody with it. So I was like, well, wait a minute. How expensive are those things? So I went online and I looked. You can get pretty cheap ones, but normally school level, high school level microscopes, they're somewhere between $500 and $3,000.
Yep.
Ouch.
And all because he was going to get a B. And Bs don't make it into the finals of that game, of the Hogwarts game.
You guys remember the, you said bees there. Did you guys remember the Sci-Fi Channel Sharknado series?
Oh, good God.
I tried not
Yes.
to.
Apparently,
to.
I forget where I saw it, but apparently there's a new series, Bee-Nado.
No.
Won't be watching that at
Tornadoes made out of bees.
Oh, dear.
all. No.
Scraping
thank
the
you.
bottom of the never-ending
what's-
barrel.
You know, as many good series the Sci-Fi Channel comes out with, even though they kill them pretty quickly, the original content is horrible. The original stuff that they do.
Not all of it.
horrible.
Yeah, aren't the librarians?
Sharknado. I'm talking
I don't
about
think
their.
the
I'm,
Librarians was an original for...
I'm talking about their
Sci-Fi.
B-side movies that they do.
Sci-Fi was noted from the beginning to have all the classic B and C and D sci-fi movies. It's part
true.
of sci-fi.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, there's bad parts about it, but it's just part of it. You just want a cheap thriller, and that's what they're there for. It was meant to be like the 2 a.m. in the morning movie for people that were stuck at home and
Yeah.
weren't
Sharknado
invited
and
out to the parties, damn
And
it.
sharks falling from the sky.
That turned out to be a national sensation. I remember
I
when it
know.
came out, people
That's
were
the
watching it
status
left,
of
right,
my-
and backwards.
That's the status of our society.
But Artie and Adrian know about each other. They know what each other did. And this is what is, at this point, if you haven't watched any further, it's kind of confusing to me because Artie was told if he shared it with anybody, then,
They would share in that fate.
and what has happened here?
He completely shared exactly what happened.
Came out
Well,
absolutely.
Well, not everything. I don't think he just said that the world had gone into total darkness. So he didn't say the warehouse
Without
exploded. Yes, without hope. The world was without hope. So I saved the world. And, the brother's just like, yes, but you released this evil. And he's like, Artie's like, Psh, I can handle evil. He's like, but you've released it to all of us. Artie's like, you said it was just me.
maybe we answered this before, but correct me if I'm wrong because, stroke victim. If he erased everything, how come Brother Adrian knows so much?
He's piecing it together.
He's like, I was there? Yes, but you didn't know that.
Well, remember, even back then, he knew about the warehouse. So the warehouse wasn't secret to him.
Yeah, the warehouse. They knew about the warehouse before all of the changing of the world happened because they just know about all of these things, and they have artifacts, so they know about the warehouse.
They've been stealing artifacts. Did we just go through that?
There's one thing that I picked up on Brother Adrian, by the way. maybe he just needs a girlfriend or a boyfriend. I don't know which way,
He needs a
but
hobby.
Use the robes, buddy. Use the
maybe he
robes.
just needs a little love.
Loosen the robe.
Loosen the robe. Slide on over somewhere.
He
Have a
needs
milk-
another hobby.
Have a milkshake.
He needs a
yeah.
hobby. Mm-hmm.
Instead of
Not-
shitting
not-
diamonds
not-
everywhere.
And not unleashing it on Artie.
Yeah, poor Ethan, right? So all he wants to do is create this wonderful art, this music coming out
Beautiful
of
trumpet
and
music.
as a trumpet player myself, I can commiserate. But I don't know if it'd be worth dying. And the other thing I was thinking, as a brass instrument player, he's dying and he's coughing, short of breath. There's no way
No!
he'd be able to play because it takes a lot of
It
lung.
takes a lot of lung power to play
Maybe the
a
artifact
trumpet.
was allowing him to do it, though.
Okay.
But
I mean,
yeah, it
hence
was
the whole
Guppies.
artifact.
Okay.
Bubble guppies.
Bubble Guppies. Yeah, it was funny to listen to, they're both of them are like, wow, he plays amazing. And the gal behind the bar is like, yeah, he's just dreamy. And then at the end, when they figure out that I think it's a cigarette case, right?
Scott Joplin's cigarette case relieves
There you go.
people of emotional and mental suffering and the memories they experience with the pain, but causes physical pain to manifest in the user of the cigarette case, eventually killing them if they absorb too much. It is one of the main artifacts of the episode.
So yes, exactly. So he was using it to take pain away. And then the bartender lady was like, why would you do that? There are people that love you. And he's just like dumbfounded. And Micah's like, clearly you have no idea. She's like, oh, musicians. Well,
yeah.
you like me?
Engineers too. So I
Yes,
rewatched the
engineers
episode,
definitely.
by the way, and I'd seen all the way to the ending. It was fresh in my mind. And then I rewatched it. At the very beginning, he was saying, the bartender was saying, oh, poor kid. Like, all right,
Yeah.
this does not match up to the fact that you love him. You wouldn't be referring to it as a poor kid.
Well, maybe she was trying to put on a good defense.
Bubble
That's all.
guppies.
Bubble Guppies.
I mean, I guess she did have a
I
couple
did.
of federal agents in front of her.
Yeah, she did have that. Were
Micah still had that
collecting
hair.
data. That were collecting data.
She was a special bartender.
She was the special bartender.
Well, Micah still had special hair. I don't know
Oh
what
my
was up with her
goodness.
again. It's better than last week, but still.
Yes, it was funny when they walked into that bar and Jinxies was like, "Can you goo an entire building?"
Yes, you can. We've seen it done already in the
What?
series.
Did you notice that later on when Micah was talking to the
He was
bartender?
spraying.
He was spraying purple stuff all over the stuff on the walls just to see if he could catch the one thing that was causing this issue that they were sent on.
Honestly, it's New Orleans. He probably caught one or two things and probably didn't even realize.
More than likely. I did. The beginning of this was funny too because Artie comes in and everybody's like, "You're 30 minutes late. You're never late." And what did she say? Claudia said something to the fact of
Was it Claudia or was it Jinx tried to
both
say
of them
something?
said something.
But Jinx was struck down.
Jinx was struck down. Yeah, you're 30 minutes late. Are you okay? And so she says, "You're yelling at your kids, you're yelling at your kids to get off the lawn, or maybe you're inventing fire. From caveman times," is what Jinx said. And then Jinx gets a look from Artie. "I'm
go,
not
Laura.
allowed to use those, are you?" Artie's like, "No." And then he starts to assign projects. This time he assigns Claudia and Pete to an assignment. And everybody's like, "Whoa, wait. And,
But that's my partner.
and Claudia was like, "But I brought Jinx back from the dead, so I kind of own him now. No offense, Pete."
There are
And
ways
then,
out. Yeah.
then Artie says, "This is not a choose your own adventure. This is a job."
Yeah, he's being very crotchety, very more crotchety and grumble than he has been in the entire series. He's really playing it up. And it's
Mhm.
because he's really bothered by the dagger thing. I think he should just accept it. You're an agent of Warehouse 13. At some point in time, you're going to be the raw end of some artifact. You just need to accept it. It's like being a companion to Doctor Who. Eventually, something bad is going to happen to you.
Eventually.
Right? But there is a way out of this. You guys mentioned it before. You can go into the bronze sector. You can on-bronze somebody. You can share everything with them and then re-bronze them. Bingo. Done.
Hey, that would work.
You're sharing it. They're not going to take it anywhere.
Depends on who you're unbronzing, though. You want to make sure that maybe you just unbronze their top half so they can't move, you know?
Guys, the bronzing is... They had to have made mistakes along the way. They made a mistake with HG. Now, granted, she was not acting in the best interest of everybody, but there was no need to bronze her at the time. There's probably other people that have been bronzed that didn't deserve to be bronzed.
True.
And Artie would know who those people were.
That's true. But he would also have to get approval from the regions because they have.
No, he wouldn't.
He's done it before.
That's like asking for approval to use the astrolabe. No, you just do it.
It's true. That's true. There is that. Yep. Mm-hmm.
He could have HD do it for just, hey, HD, I need you to do this for me. Why?
But,
I can't tell you why. Just do it for me.
Artie does pull Pete aside before they go. Wait, Pete. And he's like, ow, Artie, manhandling. He's paid special attention to Claudia on this trip. Okay.
So by the way, Shannon, before you go nuts, the actor that you were talking about, Mark Shepard, was Badger.
But what was his name in here?
Oh, dang it.
See, that's why I was calling him I'm always going to remember him as Badger and Firefly, but in here, I want to say Kusan, and I know that's not right. Kusan's the other guy.
No,
yeah, Kusan's the other guy.
He played...
He was the creepy one that no one liked here.
Oh, no, I mean, everybody warmed up to him, especially Benedict Valda. It was Valda.
Yes. That's what it was. It was Valda. That's who it was.
By the way, Shannon, what was your favorite scene of the episode?
I don't think I have one.
I had to look. I was on my third watch through. I watched it like 4 times. So it was on my third watch through. I was like, I need to find a favorite part. So I understand where you're coming from.
It's hard. I liked the fact that, I don't know if it's a favorite part, but out of all of it, I like that we finally get to see Jinx and Micah talking. Mm-hmm. A lot of times they just skip out over each other.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like she never sits down and has a moment with him and vice versa. So they didn't really know what to do with each other. She's like, oh, fine, don't talk, but you're a horrible liar.
Yeah. The guy that can tell all the lies is a terrible liar.
Yeah.
Yep.
I did like the way she approached it. You know, coming from Jink's standpoint, I can understand how he took it. But she was like, you know, I know how it's like coming back to the warehouse after being gone for a while. And he's like, yeah, not quite the same. Yeah, but it's probably the closest you're ever going to get, either that or HG, so pick your poison.
He was staring at that picture with the 2 skeletons in that office a lot.
I mean, you're obsessed with death when you know it could happen at any second.
True. And
been there.
And
now
but he's linked, and he knows it, and he has to figure out how to deal with it.
Yeah, so he asked for time off, and Artie says, yeah, take as much time as you need. So now we're going to lose Jinxies for a little while.
Well, I mean, he'll be on his own side quest. I don't think we'll lose him.
Right.
No,
true.
So, Carolyn, what was your favorite?
Well, I don't know if I have it. I mean, there were a lot of funny parts, like they're sitting in the office of the psychologist who's helping these people with their problems, and she's like, I don't understand why the government is wanting this. And Micah's like, we're from Health and Human Services and we're collecting data. We really love our numbers.
They're usually not ones to lie about things, especially because they're actually agents and they could be brought up on charges for misrepresenting themselves, and they know that. Both Jinx from the ATF and Micah from the Secret Service.
Yeah.
But I
mean, it's going to be a bubble guppy zone because they also know that if they witness or they have the perpetrator that committed a crime in front of him, but yet how many times do they walk in and walk right? No, we're not going to call the cops on you. It's okay. Continue to do it. We just want the artifact. That's against the law too. So
yeah, I mean, it's not several different references no paperwork. The several different references to Hogwarts was quite funny. When one of the kids was beating up one of the other ones so that he could get on the calculus team. And Pete's like, that big kid was one of the calculus people? Claudia, she was looking at her computer screen and she says, one of the kids is beating up a much larger Slytherin. So, and then the funny reference of when they're at the school and there are 4 marbles loose and they produce anger and Harry Potter becomes Full Metal Jacket. So, I mean, there was a lot of really funny lines and Pete saving the day by using the one marble so that he can concentrate on this big wall of electronics to try to figure out how to make the furnace not blow the deadly gas that the headmaster just put into the thing, and looks at it, and as soon as it makes him focus, he's like, whoa, that is so not uncool, and figures out which button to just yank, and then gives up that marble.
He goes back onto the playing floor, and he's in the process of giving the marble back, but he doesn't want to. So he's already focused on saving everybody. What is he focused on at that point in time? What do you think?
Being smart.
Do you think he's focused on Micah? Do you think he's focused on comic books? Do you think he's focused on warehouse stuff?
Saving the day, saving whoever else needs saved, because he's a saver.
Just being smart.
Just being...
Guess he's not normal.
Yes, and like Jink said, yeah, if Pete told me that if you wanted to talk about emotions, I should just change the subject. It was touching the ways that Claudia was talking to Hugo about his nephew. And yeah, we all make mistakes. I really would have loved it if my brother was there and not trying to have a special agenda or something. So just be there for him.
Right.
Instead of trying to get him to be in the warehouse.
And she probably got through to him more than anybody has.
Yeah. And the different ones. So when the trumpist was trying to take away Jinxie's pain, and he's like, whoa, what is all of this? We know that Jinx has a lot of pain from like losing his sister and all of that, but he also has the pain of like dying and trying to figure that out. So how much of that did that guy get? And you could hear Jinx say, that's my pain. This is mine. You can't have this.
Yeah.
And then he realizes, you're killing Claudia. You need to stop.
Now, remember, the people that had the artifact used on them had no memory of it happening.
Okay.
They
So
talked
taking
about
it
that
back,
earlier.
so it won't.
So
Okay.
Ethan doesn't remember this
Doesn't
at all.
remember any of that. Well, that's good.
But the other thing is, Claudia does not know why she all of a sudden had to drop down to the floor.
Right. She doesn't know any of these things yet. So either Jinx needs to talk to her about it, or he's just going to disappear for a while and try to figure out how he can fix it. Which is also could be a problem because he really needs to be careful wherever he's going. If he stubs his toe or if he, hurts himself somehow, Claudia's going to be like, I didn't do anything. How is my toe hurt?
She'll eventually figure it out. Now, does Micah have an obligation, since she now knows, to tell either Claudia or Artie about this? I think she does.
I would hope that she does, but I think that the way the person that Micah is, I think she'll wait a little bit to see if he says anything, and if he doesn't, and if he just goes off, I think she'll tell, because she's like, no, this is not something you can just keep from her. But that's my thoughts. What was your favorite part, SP?
So they're evacuating the basketball court, right? Because they're just trying to get people out. And Claudia goes up to the cheerleaders and she just calls them all Heather.
Yes, that was funny. Heather, 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 Heather.
That was great. I was legit rolling on the floor laughing. I dropped to my knees laughing at that. It was great.
And then Hugo, of course. Yes, there's like poisonous gas, so we need to get out. And everybody's like, what? And Claudia's
Let's
like,
not tell them that.
Not tell them about the poisonous gas, maybe. He's like, oh yeah, der.
So I work in resourcing in my organization. So you can think about financial management or budgeting. And the headmaster wants to get back at the board because they're cutting. And I'm like, it happens. I'm in financial management.
It happens all the time.
You have to deal with this all
Budget
the
cuts.
time. It's like budget reality. Because if you're not a good steward of your resources, the whole school would probably collapse in on itself in a year or two. So in order to keep it going, you have to find a way to keep operating with the resources that you have. So that's just me in my Bubba Gumpy professional life moment of, no, you can't keep a school going on wishes and dreams. You need to
I mean, it happens to all the schools. They lose all the good programs first. Basically, they take away art and, a lot of other things. And then, what do you do?
Well, you can't do science because microscopes are being flung at other students.
I know, right? Don't have enough to go around.
Shannon, do you have anything else on this episode?
No, to me, another one was filler episodes. The in between episodes, I think we got just as much of information from this one as last time. We already know that Jinx is connected. I think eventually Claudia's going to figure it out, and I don't think Michael's going to have to say anything to anybody. Claudia's pretty smart, but it wasn't one of those I go back and watch again. I don't think I've finished watching all of it this time.
I've got another idea, another way to solve this whole thing. You transfer the fact that Claudia is connected to Jinx, and you transfer that from Claudia to Brother Adrian. So then Brother Adrian has a vested interest in keeping Jinx alive.
Right? Hey, that sounds like a good plan to me.
Just saying.
It happens, I think, in 5th seasons. But anyways.
One of the funny things that also happened was happening with the microscope, the kid that was going to throw it over the teacher's head. Pete was grabbing him and he's like, okay, something I've never thought I would say. Give me your marble.
There's a lot of things in the series that you never thought you would say.
Yeah. Give me your marble. Wait, what?
Am I correct in thinking that we did get an email, didn't we?
We got two. We got two feedbacks.
Two feedbacks.
Same person, but two feedbacks. So you want to take them one at a time?
Go for it.
Okay. So the first one, Clyde sent it to us, and he said, so we obviously know the downside to the metronome between Claudia and Jinx. So who was Marcus's Claudia? Because in theory, it could not be our villain because he would have died after the gunshots in Emily Lake, I believe. Brings up a good point. Marcus died several times, actually, and was brought back to life. Yeah. So who was Marcus's Claudia? Whoever it was dead.
Yeah, how could he get hurt and die so many times?
That means Jinx can technically die another time and it wouldn't. I don't know. It's a good point, good question, but I think it's a bubblegummy thing.
No,
yeah, I mean...
So I think his point is if Jinx dies, Claudia dies. So Marcus did die. So whoever Marcus's Claudia was died.
Multiple times, like generations before, kids.
I don't think it was multiple. I mean, that's a good question. I don't know if you come back to life, like if Marcus comes back to life, if the person who's connected to him comes back to life.
Yeah, at that point, is it just the metronome? It must be just the metronome that's keeping you alive. The person that was connected to you who brought you back has now died because you died. So is it then just the metronome that's keeping you alive? These are very good questions. Very, very good questions.
If Jinx is the only one that feels pain, no. If Claudia is the only one that feels the pain, right? Or does Jinx feel it too?
I don't think Jinx feels the pain.
No. That's a good point.
Because he got cut on his, he got hit with his arm.
All right, he does feel the pain. He does
I don't think
feel
he
it.
feels it.
But
I think she feels all of his pain.
but what happens if Claudia dies?
He got hit on his neck with that bird, but he only reached up there because Claudio thought, ow, 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 I got something on my neck. So he reached up on his side of his neck and was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, so I think if Claudia were to die, I don't think he would.
So I know who Marcus's Claudia was. Remember in the episode 321? Remember the guy that was, the evil guy? That was the rocket episode?
Oh, the rocket episode. Which evil guy?
The white-haired guy?
Yeah, the one back in Victorian era.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember his name off the top of my head. Was it Sir
Roger?
Eddington?
Yes.
Possibly.
So yeah, it was Sir Eddington. He was the guy. He was Marcus's Claudia.
That far back? You think?
No,
I didn't
he's
think
just guessing.
Marcus was that old.
I was just, okay,
He's
whatever.
just guessing.
Just bringing it up. All right. Clyde sent us another email talking about some of the recommendations that we have been making on the show here. And he says, between all the other shows you three need to catch up on or start, as you have addressed multiple times on the podcast, haha,
I know, I still need to.
I highly recommend watching Resident Alien. It's a very good comedy series. Yes, it's on Di-Fi channel, but
Look at he took our word.
He did 3 seasons on Sci-Fi, and it just confirmed the 4th season on USA, I believe. So Sci-Fi dumped it. Oh,
really?
shocker.
After 3 seasons,
and that's why
they dumped it.
So that's why we have a 4th season, because it's no longer on the Di-Fi.
Right. He continues and he says, thanks for an enjoyable podcast every week, Clyde. I have heard Resident Alien is hilarious.
It's really good. Yeah, I've heard that too. And it's got Alan Tudyk in it, so it's got to be funny because I love that guy. So I mean, now that it's on USA or if it's streaming somewhere, maybe I'll, win all my spare time before I...
You don't have any.
Yes, but it is one of the ones that I have wanted to watch. But it's funny that USA has confirmed it for the 4th season.
Well, that explains a lot, actually. They don't go past the 3rd season.
They have a 3-season twitch. Like, after it gets 3 seasons, it's like, nope, now we have to pay the people more, so it's gone.
That's because after the 3rd season, when things get, I think, when they make a 4th season, now you're going into syndicate.
That's after 100 episodes.
Well, you're going to reach that 4th season, aren't you?
Only if you go past like 26 episodes or more, I would think. But most of these things don't have that many episodes anymore.
They have to pay the actors more.
I think that's it. I think after the 3rd season,
they don't want to
renegotiate their contracts.
That's what it is.
So, interestingly enough, NBC Universal owns both channels.
Right?
Oh, geez.
They own Sci-Fi. Yeah.
They own Sci-Fi, they own USA.
Well, then they just moved it.
They did, but I think moving it might have encumbered the loophole that you were just talking about.
Yes.
Of being able to
renegotiate.
Yeah.
We appreciate you, Clyde. That's awesome. Thanks for the 2 emails. Really good questions. I'm really curious as to who his Claudia was now too. And now that we know that if they die, the other person still goes on, I'm guessing until someone literally stops the metronome, because the only thing that's keeping it now is literally the metronome. So that's a really good question to pose. And yes, I really do want to watch Resident Alien.
Not before Orphan Black.
I know.
Orphan Black.
I know.
If you want to send us some feedback, if you want to recommend something that we haven't seen before, if you want to ask a very good question, you can get a hold of Shannon at warehouse13fancast@gmail.com.
Thank you.
Send the email to warehouse1and3fancast@gmail.com. And we will obviously read it on the show because we read everything on the show so far.
We love our emails. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
We appreciate them.
Next time we get together, we'll be discussing Warehouse 13 Season 4, Episode 5, No Pain, No Gain. So, Carolyn, we have 3 choices: the tvguide.com description, the Amazon Prime Video description, and the IMDb description.
Pick, Carolyn.
Amazon.
Amazon, here we go.
Do.
Pete and Micah investigate a hockey player who seems to be miraculously and instantly recovering from serious game injuries, while Claudia is invited to a mysterious lunch by Mrs. Frederick.
Oh,
I know what this one is. Okay.
Elsewhere, Artie and Steve discover someone has been stealing artifacts from inside the warehouse.
Again.
No, you don't
Again.
say.
security breach.
Guest stars BSG actor Mike Dupud as hockey player Mike Maiden.
I like that. He was in Continuum too.
I think we've had this discussion before. Are you sure about that?
No, I'm not. He probably isn't. I'm probably wrong. Because I'm wrong. Not all the time, but
All right, we're gonna look.
I'm probably wrong. I know he's been in a lot, and I like him as he's a really good actor.
I don't think that is how
I think
you
next week's
pronounce his name.
episode is the one where Mrs. Frederick explains to Claudia how artifacts are made.
Probably going to get a bunch of people yelling at me when they listen to this. No, he's not. Brr. She doesn't know anything. I
Murr.
know.
So they yell and they go, Murr.
Brr.
Okay, Mike. Yes, let's see. What has he been on? I'm looking at it. Wow, he's been in a lot of just
He's
so
been in
you
a
know, 190, we'll talk about it next time, but 197 acting credits in his career. So I'm scrolling here for he was in Deadpool 2?
Oh, he was. He was. He was.
He was
He
in
wound up everywhere like Roger Cross.
6 episodes of Era. Yes, 5 episodes of Continuum. You are
Ha!
correct.
I was right. Yes.
Yes.
He was also in Blood and Chrome. Huh. Battlestar Galactica Blood and Chrome. And the original Battlestar Galactica 2. Well, I mean the reboot.
Blood and Chrome with Michelle Forbes?
Yeah.
I like her.
My memory was correct, at least for once. Woohoo!
Indeed. All right, Shannon, anything left before we get out of here?
That's it for this one.
All right, Carolyn.
No. No real food, I don't think, in this one.
No, I don't think they had time.
I don't think there was any food in this one.
Yeah, Pete still has the styrofoam taste in his mouth from the donuts last time.
That's probably true. But so no food in this one. There's my food. There
I mean,
go.
you don't want to be stealing food in a high school anyway. That's just gross.
Oh.
You never know what's laced with what.
That's true. This is very true.
It's very
Tell
true.
Michaela, tell him don't pick up anything off the floor.
All right. Until next time, I'm the Janitor SP.
This is a sci-fi girl.
This is Ocean 363. Bye, guys.
Thanks for joining us for an episode of the Artie's Attic Warehouse 13 Fancast. You can find all our episodes at warehouse13fancast.com. If you'd like to contact us, you can hit us up on our email at warehouse13fancast@gmail.com. We are a part of the Lone Wolf Podcast Network. You can hear more of this cast and other shows like it by checking out lonewolfpodcasts.com. The intro music is Sci-Fi Hybrid Intro by Soundmake, and the outro music is Science Fiction by Tunes to Go. Both were purchased on pond5.com.
Happy birthday.
Yay, thank you.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to your mom, too, SP.
Yeah. Thanks.
When was your birthday?
Today.
My mom's was the 21st. It's all kinds of birthdays going
My
on.
brother-in-law's was the 21st also.
Oh, happy birthday.
My son-in-law's was yesterday.
No, happy birthday. Goodness.
It's a lot of New Year's Eve babies.
Kinda. Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
dance all night.
Yep.